gang? Brian back with you out here at the farm. Just got done planting a few other goodies. I'm going to go ahead and do a quick walkthrough, show you a little bit of everything that I've got going on now. I'm getting to the stage where I'm starting to be proud of myself. Gonna start off over here in this corner. We got the loquats, another loquat over here. These guys are doing pretty good. Got the sugar sweet cherry, Saskatoon, service berry, June berries. We got purple June berries and regular June berries and Saskatoons, and then the sugar sweets cherries in here. So this all in here, it's going to basically be bushes. They're very similar to blueberries, if you will, the Saskatoons and the service berries and June berries. That's another one. No, that's just sugar sweet. That's probably a June berry there. This right here is a mulberry, Russian mulberry. It's a pretty good looking one. It's doing fantastic. That's a June berry, Russian mulberry, doing its thing. This is a Russian pomegranate. That's a Russian pomegranate. If you see in here, these guys are asparagus. So you can see this looks very similar to what you would see in the store. This one's a little bit older, this guy here, but that's about what you're gonna see an asparagus plant look like. Eventually these things will get bigger. I just planted them the beginning of the year, so none of these are ready to be ate, but we got a pretty good row of those right behind the pomegranates. So we got another Russian pomegranate. This is a wonderful pomegranate. That's a Granada. Wonderful pomegranate. Granada. This is the seedling pomegranate that I grew from seed, so who knows what this one's going to turn out. This in here, some Jerusalem artichokes. Now these right here are pretty special. I'm excited about these. These are the Titan blueberry and the Kruger blueberry. So you take a look at these. This is a Kruger blueberry, was just released this year. It's actually a creation from University of Georgia. Blueberries about the size of quarters, big motherfuckers, right? So these will cross-pollinate with one another. If you see here, got a pretty good row. Every other one. So we got a Titan, a Kruger, Titan, Kruger, Titan, Kruger, Titan. This right here is actually a Vernon. This one is the Titan or Kruger, and this one is a Titan. This one right here is a powder blue. This one here, a Kruger, Titan, powder blue, Kruger, Akalakani. Yeah, Akalakani. And then finish her off with a Titan, another Akalakani. So I got a damn heap of blueberries planted now. Those should do me as far as the blueberries go. Now I'll show you over here. We've got our couple of all-in-one fruit trees. These ones pretty much died off except for these two, which are two different varieties of peach. It's also on a peach rootstock, so for all I know I may end up getting 3 versions of peaches out of that one. This one has actually got all the different fruits. So you got the Gold Dust peach, you got the Independence nectarine, you got the late Santa Rosa plum, and you got the Alberta peach. So these are all stone fruits, and this guy right here is coming off of the rootstock, so whatever the rootstock is, Lavelle peach rootstock, I'll let him go. Same thing with these guys, the Gold Dust and nectarines and what have you. This one right here is a Bella Gold picatum, which is essentially a crossbreed between a peach, plum, and apricot. Peach, plum, and apricot. Yeah. So essentially these will have to cross-pollinate with another type of apricot, which I will have some on each of those. That's another plicatum. And over there's a plicatum. This one right here is actually a Blenheim apricot. And plicatum. Over there's one of those another 4-in-1s. This one's a 4-in-1, but looks like only 3 of the things survived. So we got the Independence Nectarine, the apricots, and Santa Rosa plum on that one. This one right here is a pear tree. It's got a few different varieties of pears. Got the Añejo, the Seckel, the Camas, the Bartlett pear, all on the same tree. So those are pretty exciting. This plum right here, you can see is doing pretty good. This one is the Beauty Plum, and also has a Toka Plum on this guy. Now those two over there have pretty much died off, so we won't need to walk over there. Coming back over this way where the blueberries are at, have another 4-in-1 pear tree. And over here are these nectaplums, nectarine and plum mix, Spice Z nectaplum. Got 3 of those. They've got these gorgeous leaves. I love them. Now they will cross-pollinate with a nectarine. We have actually got Carla Rose nectarine. This one topped off, that way it'll start bushing out here, which is ideal for these nectarines. And got one more right here, and that's another pear tree. So as you can see here, I'm fucking surrounded by my stone fruits. I want to try to keep all the stone fruits in this vicinity. As I walk down that way, I'll continue with my stone fruits and even cherry trees as I get closer to the wood line. Out here it gets pretty fucking hot, so over there is probably the only chance that I have at actually having success at growing cherries here. At that point over there, it will be that 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock sun. It will just be, the sun will just be over there on the other side of these pine trees, so it'll actually cast a shadow, which will mean it's not nearly as hot during that hottest point of the day, which essentially was what you want on your cherry trees to hopefully be successful. Now I'll go ahead, these guys right here, give you the rundown on them real quick. Actually, I'll just walk this way. These are aronia berries, aronia berries, aronia berries, aronia berries. This is all aronia berries in here. And I went ahead and incorporated all these maypops, wild maypops growing everywhere. I went ahead and mowed all this down, but all these maypops will come back up. Ooh, there goes the salamander. See, there's a bunch of maypops. This is essentially what you're looking at when you're looking at maypops. This one here is just a small one, but when you open this guy up, see here, all these seeds, those are actually the fruit. So it's kind of similar to a pomegranate, not the taste, but the little fruits essentially around each seed. So you get a mouthful of those things and just suck the juices out, spit the seeds everywhere. That way you have much more maypops. Now we've got my awesome Indian peach tree. All this is new growth. All this, after I cleared out all this bush and shit, these guys have done pretty good at growing up. One thing I planted a few weeks ago, these river birches. These are river birches that I got on sale at Lowe's. Normally 22 bucks, got them for 11 bucks. So I planted one river birch here, one river birch there, just on the other side of that. Now these right here are pretty exciting. These are hardy kiwis. Now I got these at the Ison's nursery. They gave me a hell of a deal, $5, $5.50, something of that nature. The cool thing about it is these were forgotten about in a corner. I bought in a couple of kiwi plants and had them down there at the creek during Hurricane Michael, so the flood came in and washed all that shit away. Unfortunately, I lost those kiwis and I was a bit bummed, so I went over there at Ison's, told them, hey man, I lost my kiwis, need some more. And he said, well, we don't have any kiwis. Wait a minute, I do have some kiwis stuck over there. And oddly enough, these things were vining all over the place. I mean, you can see, she said they were there for about 3 years. So you've got about 3 years worth of growth on this thing. Now, essentially, I want a wall of kiwis here. This is a female, that's a female, that's a male. You actually have to have a male plant pollinate your female plant so you won't get any fruit. So you won't get any fruit off of this plant, but you will there and there. Here, you'll get some fruit. And all these guys I'm going to train up these poles in line with this tree here. So I essentially want this to be a big, viney clusterfuck. Probably all the way down over here on this one. And all of my maypops, of course, will grow up here and be beautiful. So with my aronia berries out there, my kiwis, my maypops, they'll all be incorporated into the setup. So we got the female, the male, another female here. You can see how beautiful these things are. I mean, it's taller than me up this stick. And eventually it'll go up to this tree and I'll just kind of train it around and likely over through that tree, and I can just, you know, come over here, wrap them around here, and essentially have all of this kiwis eventually. So I got 2 male plants. One male plant can actually pollinate up to 7 or 8 female plants. So I actually have 2 on that side of the male, and then I have 1 in between the 2 males, and then I've got these 2. And then these guys aren't quite as tall as those over there, but they'll end up getting there. Beautiful kiwi plants. You want to incorporate vines into your food forest, and when you have essentially a wall of vines, it'll be pretty cool in my personal opinion, because I can pick my fruits on each side, and I essentially want to block off here from the outside because this is where my camping area is. I want to block the wind. This will be where I end up flooding that all out. It'll be my pond. It's going to be pretty fun. Once again, river birch. It's looking good, looking good. Now the cool thing about birch trees are you can grow amanitas underneath. They really like birch trees. So that is definitely going to be incorporated underneath these birch trees eventually. And these guys here are honeyberries. Honeyberries, 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 honeyberries. Waffle's chewing on his bone. Honeyberries. I got 2 different varieties of honeyberries because you need 2 different varieties in order to pollinate. Russian pomegranate, Russian pomegranate, Russian pomegranate. So yeah, this guy's a Russian pomegranate. This guy's a Russian pomegranate. This is a 5-in-1 apple tree. So you've got a bunch of different varieties on this apple tree. And I also have a sugar gate muscadine. It's going to grow up this apple tree as it grows. Same thing over here. Got a 5-in-1 apple tree. And this one right here is a self-fertile Ison's variety muscadine. One of their named muscadines. Over here I got a Pink Lady apple, and this one here should be another Sugar Gate. So Sugar Gate, 2 Sugar Gates, and the Isons to pollinate. Alright, let's take the walk over here. That is a chestnut tree. This right here is a blackberry. See what kind of blackberry. This is an Apache blackberry. This right here is an Asian pear. 20th century, housey. What does that say? Churjo and Kasui. So all of these are 5 different varieties of Asian pears. They're pretty happy. Starting to go dormant though. Got another, what is this? Prime Arkansas Freedom blackberry. This right here is a Arkansas black apple. Right here is the mulberry, Pakistani mulberries, fucking like mulberries the size of your hand. These guys are amazing. Got a noble self-fertile muscadine to go up that one. Over here we have the Coachita blackberry. So I've got different varieties of blackberries, all pollinate each other. This right here is a raspberry, heritage raspberry. And over here we've got another Pink Lady. Look at these gorgeous blooms off of this Pink Lady. It's pretty impressive if you ask me. Pomegranate. These are our jujubes. Jujube over there. This guy right here is a goji berry. You can see it's actually got some berries on there, not quite ripened. That's a apple tree. This is another goji berry. This is what they look like. They're actually a little bit peppery. They're tasty as a motherfucker, but they got a little bit of spice to them. Another apple tree, jujube, Nanking bush cherry, apple tree. In here, I just planted a bunch of random seeds. There's lettuce, there's, what's that shit, spinach. That's some kind of squash plant. But all this will just be random goodies that I'll come in here and pick. Jujube, apple, jujube, Saskatoon. That's an apple. That's a pomegranate, wonderful pomegranate. This is a jujube. That's a apple tree. Another jujube. That's a pomegranate, wonderful pomegranate, wonderful pomegranate, wonderful pomegranate. Right there. This right here is a black locust. This right here is that Pink Lady. This is another raspberry. What kind of raspberry is it? Carolina raspberry. Caroline raspberry, not Carolina. This over here, Chicago hardy fig. Another Prime Arkansas Freedom blackberry. Another blackberry. Which one is this? That's the Coachita. So we saw all the different varieties, but what I did is I got a circle, half moon shape essentially, of raspberry and blackberries all throughout here. And my apple trees, my other random stuff, another mulberry tree. Over here is a fig. Which kind is this? That's a Celeste. You can see there's a couple of figs on that one. Where's my other fig tree? This right here is some kind of random oak tree. I just want to keep it. He looks cool. This here is a chestnut. That's going to be a pretty gnarly tree. I'm going to be excited about that one once it grows big and tall. Same thing here, chestnut. This guy over here is a Texas everbearing fig. You guys can see some figs on it. It's doing all right. Over there, that one right there is a Celeste. That's my pecan tree. Another one out there. And you of course got the blackberry row. Raspberries are in here too. This is actually some raspberries. Here's some raspberries as well. You can actually see these ones are ready to be picked. So I'll probably pick those, eat the shit out of these raspberries. Give me some of these raspberries. They're tasty. I actually should have spit those out so I can kind of see. That's the one cool thing. As these things will grow and progress, it'll be a bigger bush. All this will thicken up. So I'll have basically enough room to walk through here and or mow through here. That's an apple tree. That one, if I'm not mistaken, is a Pink Lady. That one's a Black Arkansas. So Pink Lady, gorgeous tree. Black Arkansas. More blackberries, raspberries, and the like. There's my homie Waffles again. Another mulberry tree. This guy seems to be leaning a little bit, but it's all right. You can see how monster that thing is. I planted that earlier in the year. And of course, back around to all my stone fruits. This right here is going to be my turnaround. It's actually pretty sandy in here. So I have it set up to where I can turn around. I have a big trailer or what have you. Can bring it in here and circle. I'm going to keep this open, which isn't going to hurt matters because there really isn't much that's going to like this sandy shit. So all that in there will be good growing. All of this around will be decent grown, but in here you can see it's just sandy as a motherfucker. So I'm gonna maybe plant some sod here eventually. For right now, I'm just gonna leave it open. We walk on down. These are the plants that I showed you guys. This is the end of the blackberries. Jujube. Let's see here. Another jujube here. There goes an apple. This is my nicest jujube. This thing is pimping. I mean, he's way taller than me at this stage. Over here is some other goodies. Pawpaw, Jerusalem artichoke, pawpaw, Jerusalem artichoke, Jerusalem artichoke. This right here is a brown turkey fig. No, this one's a Celeste, I'm sorry. That's a Celeste. That's a brown turkey fig. This one is a cutting that I planted out of Mawmaw's yard, so I have no idea what that variety is. It's the Mawmaw variety as far as I'm concerned. That one right there is the brown turkey. This is an amazing black locust. So most people don't like these things. Look at how gnarly these fucking spikes are. I mean, that's some gnarly shit, y'all. But this thing is what's called a legume. Essentially, all these leaves will fall off of here and put nitrogen into the soil. This tree was probably this tall when I planted it earlier in the year, and it just loved the hell out of this spot. This one right here really thrived. It's the only black locust that really took off like crazy, and I'm happy about that. I'm proud of that tree. It's gonna give me some more black locust. People are like, oh no, not black locust, but black locust is the shit. You guys need to plant them in your food forest. This right here is an English walnut. I've got 5 of those. Another English walnut over there, another one right there, another one right there, another one beyond it. And that was that brown turkey fig. This right here is another chestnut. This right here is a Chicago Hardy. fig. This is an almond tree who may very well be dead. It's a piece of sage. Sage is pretty cool. This guy right here is a pawpaw. It's a pretty amazing pawpaw. That right there is Jerusalem artichokes. This right here is probably my very own alive almond tree. That right there is a Nankin bush cherry. This right here is a pawpaw. This right here is a pawpaw with some comfrey. Comfrey is ideal to plant under each one of your trees. Over there in the bucket by the truck, I got a bunch of comfrey that is growing out of little root clippings. So take a clipping maybe the size of your finger and plant that, and it'll essentially sprout off and create a new plant. If you do that in each one of these, it's recommended, because these plants actually are natural fertilizer. So as it grows and becomes this stuff right here, this used to be a leaf. What happened, dries out, goes into the soil, and will actually feed your plants. So having comfrey is also really good for skin ailments. What you got going on, Waffles? You got something in your nose? There he goes. Another pawpaw. That right there is a colossal chestnut. Another pawpaw, a little bitty one. This one over here, that's a pawpaw as well. This one right here is my best looking pawpaw. If you look at this one, it's already putting out branches and what have you. So I'm pretty excited about this one for sure. And that's another pawpaw over there. Now, got the couple of English walnuts. Got the deer feeder over there. Over here, we've got a few muscadine grapes, muscadine grape. Each one of these posts are eventually going to rot away. So I've got a gobbler oak planted at each post. That way, as it grows, I will incorporate these muscadines on those lines, tie it to the trees there. Another that's a sugar gate. This one right here is a 15 1-in-1. Yeah, 15 1-in-1. This one right here is another sugar gate. Or let's see. Yeah, that's a sugar gate. Another gobbler oak. Honeyberry, all around. So, gave you the quick rundown essentially on what is going on at the farm. Planted all these. They're starting to come too. Now it's the fall. Ooh, I just spit out a seed. Fall is, in my opinion, the best time to plant here, because in the summertime, in the springtime, it doesn't have really a chance to set roots like you ideally want. If you plant in the fall, you will actually have roots growing all through the winter time, because it's not growing leaves. Everything growth-wise is happening underneath the ground, which is pretty exciting, because come summertime, all of your plants are going to be well established as far as roots go. And this year I lost a few of my plants because I wasn't out here to water the shit out of them like you ideally need to do. And it's basically because the roots were new. It didn't have a chance to throw off all of them little bitty sucker roots that it ideally needs to drink the water out. So during those hottest times of the year, it was really hammering it. Now, of course, you can see my amazing spring shooting through here. Now, I had my kiwis up here. Now, as you see, water came through all through here, all the way up to this high, all the way over here. Essentially washed all of my kiwis the fuck on. Those river birches up there, I actually had those down here as well, but those were big enough to where I found them down the fucking creek. So I ended up walking down the creek probably 600-700 yards to find the furthest one. One was actually trapped right here, and I think I found one maybe a few hundred yards that way, and then the other one way the fuck down there. So you can see I got some pretty good water flowing through here now after Hurricane Michael. Waffles is getting brave. He's about to go into the drink. Ooh, the Waffles, is that cold? Is that cold? Come on. Oh. So, that's a quick rundown. Sorry to do it all as fast as I did, moving fast, talking fast. I essentially wanted you guys to be able to see all of the plants, get a quick walk through here. One of these days, if you have any questions on, hey Brian, how do you properly plant these trees? Why are you picking the varieties you're choosing? Any of these types of questions, just throw down there in the comments and I'll be happy to answer them. But when it comes down to it, what I'm planting is stuff that's essentially on sale. All of this I've gotten for under 20 bucks. Every one of these plants I've paid probably under 10 bucks for. But some of them I've actually paid up to 20 bucks. If I'm not mistaken, those tall ass, they are called instant orchard mulberries. Those I paid, I believe, 35, maybe 40 bucks for, something of that nature. But all of those apples, $8.50. All of these guys I've paid like $8.50 or so. All of those new varieties, the Titan and the Crewers, they're just coming out, so I'd be hard pressed to even get those for a regular price. I had to special order 10 and 10 of them. There's something else I special ordered that's pretty exciting. The gummy berries. I've never heard of these, but apparently they're from Eastern European. They're Eastern European berries. And I've got 5 of one variety and 5 of another coming December, January time frame. Kind of excited about those. Supposedly they're pretty exciting and tasty and good for you, like the goji berries, a superfood. But my blueberries are pretty much set. I might get a handful of different varieties, maybe 1 or 2 of each variety, and kind of put in here to help as far as pollination goes. But these Titan and Crewers are going to be my bread and butter. Those things, you know, quarter-sized blueberries, they've got great shelf life. Those I'm very likely to be making some money off of, as far as you pick blueberries, or I'll pick them and, you know, sell them on a fruit stand, what have you. Little bit of everything out here as far as variety goes. What I don't eat, I'll dry and can and sell one way or another. But that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm going to get back to this, maybe throw some fertilizer on these guys and go to town. Uh-oh, this guy looks like he's got some ants under him. Yeah, he's got ants on him, so I may have to take care of that. See that? Those red ants? You don't really want red ants taking over your fucking roots, especially on your trees. That's not cool. Well, I'm gonna peace out. Love you guys.